Welcome to A Conversation with Perion. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the honor of sitting down with a true St. Louis legend, Ronald L. a man whose name is synonymous with leadership, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the people of the city. For decades, Mr. Jones has been a driving force behind countless initiatives that have uplifted the community, empowered individuals, and sparked meaningful change. His influence extends far beyond titles and accolades. He is a mentor, a visionary, and a voice of those often unheard. Whether through his work in education, business, or community development, Ronald L. Jones has consistently led with integrity, passion, and deep love for the city of St. Louis. His impact is felt in every corner of the city, making him not only a figure of inspiration, but a symbol of progress and unity. Today, we're peeling back the layers, diving into the journey, his challenges, and his vision for the future. This is more than an interview. This is the opportunity to learn from a man whose legacy continues to shape the present and the future of our community. So without further ado, let's welcome the one and only, my grandfather, Mr. Ronald L. Jones. What's up, Pop?
Thank you for
man.
having me.
Hey, it's an honor, man. It's definitely more than an honor and a privilege. As we look around, first of all, just in here is beautiful. Speaks to hard work and the success that you have, man. But I just want to start at the beginning. Most people who don't know, just where are you from?
St. Louis, born and raised.
That's right.
Yes, born and raised.
Definitely. So growing up in St. Louis, what challenges did you face, and how did those experiences shape the man you are today?
Well, came from a very humble background because we were poor.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it was all of us were poor, we just didn't know it.
Right.
Because of the fact we had a village.
That's right.
And the thing about it is, you know, the obstacles that you faced came later when you turn around trying to get educated, because of the fact that you were forced to go outside the rims of your neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
where the people in your neighborhood thought you were too good to go to school with them,
Right.
and the people where you went to school with thought you were a child of a lesser God.
Right.
So my daddy was the real Fred Sanford,
Right.
you know, because there was an incident that happened because, you know, people would give me hand-me-downs. I shopped at Father Dempsey's,
Mm-hmm.
which was a thrift store,
Mm-hmm.
like people shopped at Neiman Sachs. And from that point, I even had shoes that had holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to put a Campbell soup top to keep the hole, and a piece of cardboard to keep from cutting my foot.
Mm-hmm.
But I even learned to tailor clothes to make them fit so that I could go to school and compete with them.
Yeah.
But I used academics
Yeah.
to overcome.
Yeah. Say educated yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
My father only had about a third, fourth grade education,
Yeah.
but he stressed to us
The importance.
to do better,
Mm-hmm.
to do better.
Man, that's what's up. Come from very humble beginnings. So what was one of the first hustle or entrepreneur ventures that you had, and how did that prepare you for the funeral home business?
Well, my mother had surgery in 1956, first open heart surgery in the state of Missouri, and my father got hurt on the job, and back then you didn't have workman's comp.
Mm-hmm.
My brother James and I were the hustlers in the family.
Right.
Turn around, shine shoes, deliver papers, groceries. I became an entrepreneur at a very early age.
Correct.
I had an old piece of whole water hose that somebody had ran over the spigot of it.
Right.
They had threw away, so I turned around, got a bottle of Joy liquid,
Mm-hmm.
and started washing cars on the side of my house.
Oh yeah.
So what happened was I ended up with more cars than I could wash. So I was charging $2.
Yeah.
And so my partner said, hey, give me $1, I'll wash the car. So here it is, I'm getting $2 for one, he getting $1 for the other.
Yeah.
So what happened, I ended up getting another piece of hose, put another spigot on the wall, and we ended up, had 4 people washing cars.
Yeah.
So I turned around, got some old pallets, and had a bunch of guys standing around waiting on their cars to be washed, I started shining shoes in the yard.
Why they making the car wash
Right,
so much?
so I was charging 50 cents. So I ended up with too many people, so I ended up, went back and got some more pallets, made a 5-seat stand, so I ended up with all my partners. So during that period of time, my brother and I raised $75 to pay the rent.
Yeah.
So, you know, became an entrepreneur at a very young age.
So out of necessity.
Right.
Man, that's what's up. That's a hell of a story, too. Hey, can you share a story about a turning point in your life where you had to choose between the streets and success?
Well, you know, most people don't understand the streets is what teaches you. It was the pimp players and the hustlers that gave me my drive.
Yeah.
Because, you know, back then, they were the suave and very debonair and very snazzy dressers, you know? And see, what happened was, you watched them, they were smoking cigarettes with cigarette holders.
Right. Say fans.
Yes. Oh, no. They had the manicured nails.
Yeah.
And the very sharp sloots with sharp creases in the pants, you know?
Yeah.
So they became an inspiration in how to, as far as appearance is concerned, to make sure you're well groomed, you know?
Yeah.
So, but the thing about it is, they were business people back then. They're not like they today.
Yeah.
They were staunch business people.
Definitely.
But what the turning point was, when I became younger, there were 3 people in the black community
Yeah.
that drove the big black Packard car,
Right.
which is like the Cadillac today.
Yes, sir.
Had the diamond stick pin and the diamond pinky ring
Right.
and a large lump of money.
Right.
That was the preacher,
Right.
the undertaker, and the barkeep.
Yeah.
My grandfather was a preacher, and my grandmother was a gospel singer. So we went from one church to another on Sunday. BTU, Bible study.
Right.
So I didn't want to be a preacher.
Yeah.
So, oh no. Then one New Year's Eve, my brothers and I sneaked and took a shot of some rock gut whiskey. You never had a taste for no whiskey. So the only person left was the undertaker.
Yeah.
So there we had 50 of them. It was like one on every corner
Yeah.
back then.
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that it was so many. Oh man, it's definitely looking like a museum in this place. So he's gonna give us an exclusive tour. Come walk with us. What we got here, Pop?
Okay, this here is considered the slave trader. It's bronze. The other one here is St. Michael's.
Art gallery.
Oh yeah, well, most people don't realize it is art,
Definitely.
real art.
Yeah.
You know, because of the fact that people look at it and say, oh, just a nice piece, but not realizing the value that these are actually bronzes.
Definitely. And these here in particular, man, are my favorite.
This here is called the Angel and the Butterfly. Weighs about 400 pounds. This is the Wings of Acropolis. It's the actual cast of the actual wings of Acropolis from Rome.
Yeah.
This clock here is over 100 years old. It actually has people's papers of authenticity inside of it.
These here.
These are the Moorish King. This is Moorish King. This is black African marble and Italian rose marble.
Oh yeah.
The Queen, she's black African marble and onyx.
Man.
All of these beers These stands, they come from Italy.
Yeah, man, this is thick.
This is called the Piata, Christ after the crucifixion. Weighs 500 pounds. We don't have to worry about theft. Oh, yeah.
You like them horses, don't you, Dad?
Oh, yeah. This is called Abraham and Isaac. Abraham was one of God's most faithful servants and was asked to sacrifice his son. And at the time that he was about to do it, the angel appeared and told him not to. Because the devil had asked God, give me your most faithful, true and faithful servant. Okay?
An ultimate sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Man, this is beautiful, man.
And this is the Black Jesus. Yes.
Okay. Who was one of the biggest influence and role models during your upbringing?
Well, tragically, the three men who influenced my life all passed in, say, 90 days.
Wow.
And this is one right after I first opened up my own funeral home in 77. Well, 76 and 77, all three of them passed. My father, my grandfather, and my godfather. So there were very few people, my lawyer, Gerald Corn, who stepped in and almost like a father to me and mentor. You know, and see, he's always, for 50 years, been my lawyer until he retired. Then there was my cousin, James Oliver Harris, who initiated the funeral business. He in turn bought Boyd Brothers and started off with Harris and Boyd Funeral Home.
I remember that.
And so from that point on Finney, then we moved to where E.B. Kuntz used to be on Grand, which later on became Ted Foster and Son. Then we went to 4828 Natural Bridge, which we changed the name to Angelus, which Leon Harrison out of California, who had Angelus, we asked permission to use the name. And from that point, I give James all the kudos because of the fact, you know, the Jews had a saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man how to fish, you feed himself for a lifetime. Well, James taught me how to fish. Yes.
Oh, that's what's up. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Okay. What inspired you to enter the funeral home business industry, and what kept you motivated to excel in such a challenging field?
Well, the thing was, my cousin, he was sidetracked with racehorses. And he was much older than I, about 15, 20 years. So I was looking for a future, and he was looking for the right now. So from that point, we split. I went back to school, got my license, and I came back and started my own. A very humble beginning with that, you know, because of the fact that I became the youngest funeral home owner, black or white, in the state of Missouri to start a funeral home at 24 years old. Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that. So funeral homes is a unique business, right? What lesson did you learn about life and death while building this career?
Well, you know, I've never been afraid of death. It only taught me to appreciate life. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Because, you know, most people don't know, I actually fought in Vietnam from 66 to 68.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, and the average person would only see maybe one operation in an 11-month period. I was on 24 and suffered a concussion and blindness. They even told my parents I was missing in action, killed in action. Then they found me 30 days later aboard USS Repos hospital ship. So, you know, people look at me today, they see the cars, the clothes, the jewelry, and they said, oh, he's so successful. But they don't know about the journey from whence you came.
Definitely.
Because, you know what, I was even told when I was a young man, do not allow people to make you feel guilty for trying to be successful.
That's right.
And because if you become successful, whether it's a car, boat, plane, or train, or jewelry, don't be ashamed where you feel you have to hide it.
That's right.
Because you earned it.
And most people don't, really, especially in our community, you got the crab in a bucket syndrome, you know. So how did you gain such a respect and trust from the community during the early years as a funeral home director?
Well, number one, I've always been innovative. I've always been a leader rather than a follower.
Definitely.
You know, I brought innovation to the funeral home. You know, in 1977, I was the first funeral home to stand a person up nationwide.
Wow.
He made best photo of the year.
Right, casket.
Yeah, best photo of the year, Jet Magazine, 1977. Also, I became on a syndicated radio show with Tom Snyder, which gave me exposure,
Right.
not just to St. Louis, but all across the nation.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
That's dope. Oh. That's dope, man. Say, what sacrifices did you have to make to achieve such a level of success?
Well, first thing, banks did not loan black people money. So you basically got to hock everything that you ever had to get just started.
Right.
Back then, there was such a disparity because, like, I had a classmate, they gave him, he was white, they gave him 100% of the real estate, plus they gave him over $150,000 startup capital, finances, limousines. Me, got 80% of real estate, and no startup capital.
Right.
So it was from hand to, to cheek.
Yeah. So you start off at a different level. Oh yeah. They try to hold you in a tight one. What does it take to build a successful business while navigating the pressures of like the urban community?
Persistency and consistency.
Yeah.
That's what breeds success. And loyalty, your word. You understand? If your hours is from 9 to 5, be open whether you got business or not.
Yes, sir.
And be a man of your word, because your word is all you have. And it build integrity.
Yeah.
And not forgetting the people who help you get to where you are. Because of the fact that, I caught a lot of controversy because people could not believe, why would you open up a funeral home in the ghetto?
Right.
To invest over $1.8 million on Fair and West Florida.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
When there were a lot of places in the suburbs which were more comfortable for clientele. But I never forgot the people who made me who I am.
Definitely.
It's the poor people. I became the champion of the poor people.
Definitely.
Everybody is your friend when you got some money. Everybody want to be your friend.
Definitely.
Because you got something to give. But when you have to give back to those who got you where you are, because, I tell people, you're only one accident away from being back where you started from.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So those faces that help boost you up are the ones that you need to reach back and pull up.
That's right.
I just never forgot.
Say never forget where you come from. Dig that, man. How did you remain mentally sharp, as well as always sharp and innovative in this business as you involved?
Well, first thing, I specialized. And the gift that God gave me and the opportunity that was afforded to me, I was in the first class of mortuary science at Forest Park.
Oh, wow.
But 2 weeks before graduation, I withdrew because I didn't feel I got the quality of education that I needed. The whites were sent into the white funeral homes, which all the embalmers had been to a formal school. Most of the blacks had got their license under the grandfather's clause.
Right.
And when the person who I was under told me stick to whatchamacallit and the whatchamajigger,
Yeah.
I said, how can I pass a state board
With
that knowledge?
Yeah.
So I in turn went back to school at Worsham College of Mortuary Science in Chicago, which was a very prestigious school who really didn't allow or want us there. But there was a lot of challenges because of the fact I forced them to let me in.
Definitely.
And so I was told I was either going to be the best or I had to go.
Right.
And I had an opportunity to be mentored by two of the world's best and greatest restorative artists and art of embalming, Ed Johnson and Bailey.
Yeah.
And so from that point, I took it to another level.
Yeah.
Start creating new ideas, new methods, new products to sharpen my crafts.
Definitely.
So I reduced closed caskets by 75 to 80%
Yeah.
by restorative art.
Uh-huh.
HBO and Showtime has done 2 documentaries on me
Yeah.
about what I can do.
Definitely.
Also, Google, if you put the word in restorative artist or master restorative artist, Ronald Jones' first name would come up on Google would be me.
Yeah.
And it's a great honor because of the fact that people worldwide have an international reputation,
Yeah.
has honored me for what I do because of the innovation.
Definitely.
During the period of AIDS, when a lot of people were cremating bodies because of the fact people were very emaciated, whatever, I came up with a technique to restore them to look back to a state of norm.
Yeah.
So many times that stigma that many people went through by family members from dying from AIDS, I eliminated that, and they were able to have an open casket funeral and bury their loved ones with some dignity.
Definitely.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely firsthand witness to that. You know, myself personally, you know, my father was shot in the head, and what you did to him was, you know, I didn't think we were gonna be able to have open casket funeral.
Well, you know, the thing about it, everybody can't do what I do.
Man,
As simple as that.
yeah,
And it's a
was
gift.
Wonderful. Yeah,
It's a gift.
definitely.
And, you know, my whole thing is I've been trying to give the gift to young blacks, you know? And most people don't realize most of the black women who have license in the city of the state of Missouri all got their license under me because back then everybody thought women supposed to be at home in the kitchen or pregnant with babies
Right,
and not in a morgue.
right.
So a lot of funeral homes would not allow them. But I gave them the opportunity, and some of my best people,
Say women.
oh yeah, Zauda
Uh huh.
and Shamari
Yeah.
are 2 of my prize students.
Uh huh.
They've taken it to another level.
And so they do with what you taught them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a craft, man, an artwork, man. What legacy do you hope to leave behind for the generation, both for the family as well as the community?
Well, right now I have a project where I'm doing the history of the black funeral home of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I'm back to the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
You know, most people, even today, a lot of the funeral home owners, grandkids or great-grandkids, don't even know the history of their parents.
Right.
And I have had to share photos, knowledge of where the beginning actually started from.
Yeah, that's
So, you know, before I close my eyes, I hope to put together or compile a book with the history of it.
definitely.
The same thing, I kind of shook the funeral industry because of the fact that there were actually two women who actually boasted they were the first two black women to own a funeral home. Only to find out it was 1886
Right.
in Philadelphia,
Right.
you know?
Say when they was owning them.
Right,
Say they just didn't know the history.
right.
Man, that's why it's important, man, to know your history. All right, let me see. St. Louis is known for its swagger, Pops. How did you get yours, and what does it mean to you?
Well, back to I told you from the beginning, it was the pimps and players and the hustlers,
Yeah.
you know? Because it's totally different now. Back then, in high school, you didn't wear no blue jeans.
Right.
You didn't wear khakis.
Yeah.
You wore dress slacks. It was almost like a fashion show in high school. So it gave you a sense of pride. You know, you kept your hair cut, your shoes shine, your nails done.
Yes, sir.
No ring around the collar.
Right.
You understand? Huh?
So you stay
Oh,
clean.
no.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was in high school, people looked at me because I had a briefcase, you know? And I had to walk 10 blocks every day
Yeah.
just to get to school. I lived down near Hadley, but I was forced to go to Sumner because I passed the tracking system.
Yeah.
So I was in an environment where the only way I overcome and gain social acceptance, it was through academics.
Yeah.
I won the National Science Fair Award. I won an oratory award. I also won the Christmas Carol poster contest
Yeah.
by the Danforth Foundation.
Yeah.
And I was the first black copy boy to ever work for the Post-Dispatch newspaper, which enabled me to, it was through Norman Say and the Urban League. But I opened the door whereby Eunice Beckwith became a photographer, you know, videographer. Charles Johnson became the first black librarian that they had there. Let's see, Julius Hunter. This is a whole list of people that came aboard after me, but the door was open.
Yeah. Sumner High School, man. A lot of legends come from Sumner High School. Did you go to school with any of ones particularly?
Oh, yeah. I went to school with Arthur Ashe,
Oh, wow. The tennis player.
Nate Colbert, played for the Cardinals.
Okay.
Then he played for the San Diego Padres. And it was a whole bunch. Trying to think of these boys' names. Forgive me, Mo. Getting old. And see, I had Parks who played professional basketball. And it was so many of them that came out of that school.
Yeah, it's phenomenal just all the talent that came out of one school. That is.
Well, Ron Hines, Ron Gregory, all of them
So he came
come
up
out
of
of Sumner, yeah.
Gregory, Dick Gregory?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you could sit down with your 21-year-old self, what advice would you give him about business today?
Well, don't take no.
Yeah.
Because many, many, many times I was told no. Going into banks,
Yeah.
lending institutions, I was told no. But I kept going, and finally somebody said yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
about the persistency.
So that's it.
And then on top of that, prepare yourself. And I tell people, presentation plays a major part. You know, and I like today, I tell a lot of these youngsters about cutting their hair.
Definitely.
You know, same thing. A friend of mine's daughter. There was 2,000 applicants for one job,
Right.
starting off at $155,000.
Uh-huh.
And what happened, she allowed somebody to talk into putting a little tattoo about the width of a pencil around her wrist. She was one of 3 finalists, the only black. And the woman was so impressed with her, decided to go ahead and overstep the bounds and let her to sign the contract that Saturday instead of Monday. And when she gave her the pen and she stuck her wrist out and that tattoo showed, she snatched that Mont Blanc pen back. She ain't made
Disqualified herself.
she ain't never made over $55,000 a year.
Wow.
So appearance and presentation plays a major part. You know?
Keep yourself socially
Well,
acceptable.
Well, you're dealing with corporate.
Yeah.
You're dealing with corporate. So you have to look corporate, act corporate,
That's right.
think corporate, and think outside the box, because of the fact that environment you come out of, you're going into a total different one, business world.
Definitely.
It's a difference.
So you got to look the part.
Oh, yeah.
Man. When people hear the name Ronald L. Jones, what do you want them to think of?
Well, unselfishness, because, you know, I was taught to be humble.
Yes, sir.
And the people that you help, always let them maintain their dignity. If one owed you, he knew it. You don't have to go out there and put their business in the street. And a lot of times people are appreciative.
Yeah.
You know, they might not be able to have it right then, but
Yeah.
eventually they came and took care of you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that have been very appreciative and very supportive.
Yeah.
And I just never forgot where I came from. So those people, without them, there would have never been me.
Definitely.
So I thank them, because if they didn't support me, I wouldn't even be 50 years in this business.
That is definitely a long time, man, since 1976. That's a,
Well, consistency and persistency will breed success.
it definitely has, man. So, at this stage, man, what's next, and what message do you just want to end with?
Well, right now, I'm focused on those who coming behind,
Definitely.
trying to inspire, trying to encourage, trying to make it possible for them to follow in the footsteps, because of the fact that, you know, right now, part of my legacy is my daughter. I've turned the funeral home over to her, and she's doing a great job.
Definitely.
And, you know, trying to make her understand and be thankful
Yeah.
of all the people who have supported us.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you know, I've had funerals where people were trying to give me kudos about how well the person looked, about the service or the quality of the service. And I'm not standing up there taking credit for something that she done.
Yeah.
I'm only letting them know that we're going to continue to give them the same quality of service
Definitely.
that I have in the past.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I mandated it
Yes,
to
sir.
her.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Man, it's awesome, man. Hey, it's been a privilege. It's been more than an honor, man. This is probably one of the most impactful interviews that I've done. Just looking at the fruit of the labor is definitely inspiring. Hopefully we'll be able to double back in the near future, talk again. Like I say, it's been definitely a pleasure. It's a conversation with Perion. I'm here with none other than the legend, Mr. Ronald L. Jones. And until next time, let's keep it real.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Pop.